The Lost Wish. Sarah had always felt like a ghost in her own life, trapped in a continuous cycle of pain and longing. From a young age, she was aware of the shadows that loomed over her family history. Her grandmother, a woman of quiet strength and enduring resilience, had suffered from mysterious ailments that were never properly diagnosed, leading to a life of constant discomfort and unexplained illness. The old Victorian house she'd grown up in was filled with the echoes of her grandmother's quiet suffering, a haunting melody that seeped into the fabric of Sarah's childhood. Sarah's mother, a woman of vibrant spirit and boundless hope, had inherited a similar fate. Her health had been a fragile tapestry, woven with threads of chronic illness and unexplained fatigue. A silent battle with infertility had cast a long shadow over her life, a pain that Sarah only partially understood as a child. The legacy of these struggles hung over Sarah like a dark cloud, shaping her own experiences with adenomyosis and fibroids. Despite the physical and emotional pain, Sarah clung to the hope of starting a family of her own. Her dreams were fueled by memories of her mother's wistful glances at children in the park and her grandmother's quiet sighs of resignation. Sarah's longing was not just for herself, but for the generations of women in her family who had never fulfilled their dreams of. In a desperate bid for a fresh start, Sarah moved into a quaint, old house in a quiet neighborhood, hoping that the change of scenery would offer some reprieve. The house had a history of its own, with creaky floorboards and whispers of its past occupants. It was a house that seemed to exude a melancholy charm, a place where time stood still. Sarah was drawn to its quiet solitude. The first few weeks in the new home were calm, a respite from the relentless chaos of her life. The gentle creaks of the house seemed to lull her into a sense of peace, a comforting rhythm that soothed her troubled mind. But this tranquility was short-lived. Soon, the familiar shadows of her family's history began to creep into her new life. Unsettling symptoms began to manifest, a sinister echo of her mother's and grandmother's ailments. Her abdomen seemed to swell inexplicably, a silent rebellion against her body's natural order. The persistent urge to urinate and the growing jealousy towards those who easily became pregnant only added to her distress. It was as if the house itself was amplifying her pain, a malevolent force feeding on her vulnerability. One night, as Sarah lay in bed, a sudden, excruciating cramp jolted her awake. The pain was unlike anything she had ever felt before, so intense it felt as though her belly might split apart. She staggered to the bathroom, clutching her stomach, and in the harsh light of the mirror, she saw horrifying stains of blood on her clothes. The sight was both alarming and mystifying, and the pain seemed to be a cruel echo of the suffering that had plagued her family. Before losing consciousness, Sarah saw a vision of a comforting woman, a figure bathed in a soft, ethereal light. The woman radiated a sense of peace and rest, offering solace without words. When Sarah opened her eyes, the shadow had vanished, and the pain had subsided, leaving her in a state of exhausted relief. The next morning, her neighbors found her in a state of extreme fatigue. Her belly was still swollen, but there was no longer any blood. The house felt eerily silent and abandoned. The true nature of Sarah's suffering remained a mystery, but her story quickly became a local legend. The house where Sarah had lived was left empty and desolate. Townsfolk spoke of the woman who never achieved her dream of becoming a mother and who seemed to be haunted by the echoes of her family's pain. The house, with its creaky floors and whispering walls, became a symbol of unfulfilled desires and lingering sorrow. Visitors who entered could not shake the feeling that it harbored secrets yet to be uncovered. As the legend of Sarah's lost wish spread, the house stood as a silent witness to the tragedies of the past, a place where the ghosts of longing and loss mingled with the shadows of the present. The whispers of her family's suffering seemed to linger in the air, a reminder of the pain that transcended generations.